Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today's class we will discuss about presentation of data. So just I will write the heading. So generally presentation or data or data representation or data presentation. So this is the topic of discussion of today. Now why this is important? In your academic studies you might have to go through various graphs. You need to know, if you have a data, how you can plot those on the graph, or if you are given with a graph, how you can get that data and how you can represent it. Okay, so all this thing is very important. Now you might have studied in your lower means GCSE level or your school level about box plots. I'll just name few. This might sound familiar to you, that is box plots. This you might have done, or you might have done cumulative frequency graphs. Cumulative frequency graphs. You might have done a few other types of data representation, such as maybe stem and leaf diagram. Stem and leaf diagram, but our main focus is histogram. Okay, so generally we will be dealing with histogram, so that is important, so we will deal with that. So histograms. So our main primary focus is histograms. Okay, all these remaining type of data representation you have done at your school level, and those are easy. Sometimes the question can be confusing if you are given with an histogram. So let us understand what is histogram. Okay, so histogram is generally used for displaying grouped continuous data. Okay, so these are used for displaying grouped continuous data, whereas if you see the bar chart, means which you all know, which is used for discrete or qualitative data, but in histogram you have group continuous data. Okay, and there will never be any gaps between the bars of adjacent groups in an histogram. Okay, whereas in bar chart there can be a gap, but in histogram if you have actually gaps are not allowed between the bars of the adjacent groups. Okay, so in a bar chart if you see, the frequency is read from the height, okay, of the bar, but in a histogram the height of the bar gives you frequency density but not the frequency. Okay, so these are the common differences between bar chart and your histogram. It might look similar, but the y-axis in bar chart will give you frequency directly, but in histogram it gives you frequency density. Okay, you try to note these points. Okay, it would always be helpful for you. Okay, I will try to mention it. So y-axis in histograms, what does it represent? It represents frequency density. Okay, noting, always try to note whatever I am telling you while the class, so that when you go back to solve question, this would be helpful for you. Okay, now there would be no gaps. Okay, no gaps between bars. Okay, these are the few basic things which you know about histogram. There are many more things which we will discuss one by one. Okay, so now how to draw. First thing you need to know how to draw this histogram. So I will just sum it up in maybe 3 to 4 steps how to draw this histogram, and accordingly we will try to draw the histogram. We will take one example and we will try to draw an histogram. So maybe you can write how to draw this histograms. Okay, so I will sum it up in few steps how to draw this histogram. So step 1 is to check whether there are gaps in your histogram. So this is always the first step. So your first step, I can say step 1, Okay, what does step 1 says? Check that there are no gaps between the upper, so I can write this as check that there are no gaps between the upper boundary of a class and the lower boundary of the next class. So, upper boundary of a class and lower boundary of next class. Okay. Now, while doing so, you must remember, if there are any gaps, you need to close them by changing the boundary. Okay. So, if there are any gaps, okay, close them by changing the boundaries. Okay. So, now these steps might not make sense to you if you have already done histograms in your previous school level or A levels. Okay. So, it would be easy for you. You might have already understood what I am trying to say here, but even if you haven't done it, we are starting from the scratch. So, as we go on these steps, just note these steps down, but once we solve one question, you will understand what I am trying to say. Okay. So, please be patient and you will understand what we are doing here. So, step 2, okay. So, step 2 is to find the class width of the group, okay, to find class width. Now, how do you find the class width? You subtract lower boundary from the upper boundary. Okay, I will write it down, lower boundary from upper boundary. Okay, so just you can subtract lower boundary from upper boundary. So, subtract lower boundary from upper boundary. Okay. Now, step 3 says that calculate the frequency density of the each group. Okay. So, I will write that I will write step 3 as calculation of frequency density. So, calculation of frequency density, and frequency density is nothing but it is given by formula frequency density is equal to frequency by class width, frequency by class width. So, this formula is important. Okay. Note it down somewhere. This formula you will use to plot the graph, or if even if you are taking you have been given with a graph and you need to get some data out of that graph, even in that way also this formula is really helpful. Okay. Now, step 4, now you need to draw the histogram. Okay. And the data values on the x axis. Okay. So, I will just write it down. So, step 4. Okay. So, in the step 4, data values you should draw on x axis. So, x axis should have data values and y axis you should have frequency density, and y axis should have frequency density. So, these are the basic steps generally which we follow to draw a histogram. Okay. So, let us see how we can solve a question. So, I have already taken a question. Say suppose the table below and its corresponding histogram show the mass in kg of some of the newborn dolphins. Okay. So, here see, if you see the first table this side, Okay, as you go down, what does this data represent? That 4 dolphins were born with a mass between which is 4 kg to 7 kg, that is less than 8, right? That is 7 or 7.9, whatever it is. Okay, so mass less than 8 and equal to 4. How many dolphins were born? 4 dolphins were born. M is less than or equal to 8 and less than 10, mass 15 are born. Okay, so similarly you are given data like this. Okay, next is your mass is less than or equal to 10, greater than or equal to 10 and less than 12. We are 19 dolphins were born. Okay, so like this they have given data. So when I look into this table, this is what I could understand. Now what they are saying, first thing they are saying is the question says complete the histogram. Okay, so the question isn't complete, so let me complete the question first. Okay, first thing is complete the histogram. Second thing is estimate the number of dolphin whose weight is greater than 13. Okay, part B of the question is estimate the number of dolphins whose weight is greater than 13 kg. Okay, now okay, so this is our question. Okay, now first and foremost thing, okay, first you need to complete the histogram. To complete this histogram, first of all you need to know that histogram cannot have a gaps, right? See, if you can see here, there is a gap here in this region. Okay, because if you see the data is starting from, okay, data is starting from here 4 to 8. Okay, so here if you see, this is given, then we have 8 to 10. Okay, so then we have 8 to 10, then we have so on. Okay, so this is how your data is represented, but here if you see that few of the data is missing, so you need to complete this histogram. How you can complete this histogram? First you need to know the class width. Okay, for class width, okay, what is the width here? How much should be the width here? This is the third data, that is starting from 10, okay, and it is ending here, so it should be 2. Okay, so here this should be 2. Okay, and you can see this is 2. Okay, 10 to 12. Okay, so this is 2. Okay, what is the next one? It is from 15. Okay, from 15 to less than 30, that is 29, right? From 15 to 29, so this must be till 15 to 29. Okay, so just 15 to 30, just below 29. Okay, okay, so this is my class width. Now what is the height? Height is frequency density, right? That's what we understood. Height is your y-axis is always frequency density. Now if you go to the steps and see, how do you calculate frequency density? Frequency density is nothing but frequency over class width. So your frequency density is frequency over class width. So what is the frequency density for this one? So frequency of this portion, how much is the frequency for this portion? It is, see how many it has, 19, right? So frequency is 19, and how much is the class width? Class width is 2, right? So this would be 19 over 2. So how much is 19 over 2? It is nothing but 9.5. So you can plot this. So this is still, height is 6 and this is 9.5. Okay, so this is 9. So how much is the frequency density? 9.5. So I have just drawn a dotted line till here. So I will just extend this. Okay, and I will draw this entire box. So if I extend this like this, okay, so you need to draw using scale, okay, then just join this. So this portion, okay, we have drawn it. Okay. Similarly, there is one more thing which is missing. This is this side. Okay. So what would be the frequency density for that? That would be again frequency by class width. How much is the frequency for the last one? See, if you see how much is the frequency, 6 is the frequency, and the class width is 15. So 6 over 15, which will give me 0.4. So this one block is 0.2, and this would become then 0.4. 2 blocks will give me 0.4. So I just need to draw a straight line, okay, for the 2 blocks. Okay, so this is my frequency 0. So this is how you are supposed to complete your histogram graph. Okay, so I have completed this graph. Okay, so complete the histogram graph. I have completed it, no worries. Now what is the second part? Estimate the number of dolphin whose weight is greater than 13 kg. Okay, now how do you calculate that how many dolphins are there whose weight are more than 13? Okay, so what you can do here is you can just see where is 13. Okay, so 13 is somewhere here. Okay, I will use another color now. So 13 is somewhere here. Okay, so if I draw a straight line, so all those dolphin which are coming in this red zone, these are weight more than 13. Okay, now how do I calculate this number of dolphins greater than 13? This can be calculated using area. The area of this region, okay, area of this red shaded region will give you the number of dolphin. Why it gives you number of dolphin? Look here, this is what, this is your class width, that is nothing but frequency. Okay, now sorry, this is class width. Okay, see here, and this is frequency density. What is, if you calculate area, okay, that means you are calculating x into y. Okay, so x into y, your x is your class width, your y is frequency density, which is frequency over class width. Class width get cancels out, you will get frequency. So area of histogram graph gives you frequency, that you need to remember. Okay, so whenever they ask you to calculate area, sorry, whenever they ask you to give the frequency, okay, in any form of the words, if they ask you to calculate the frequency, you just need to calculate the area of the histogram graph. I hope I hope I made myself very clear. Now let us calculate this area. So it is see this is starting from 13 and it is ending at 15. So how much is the width? So the width is 3, and how much is the sorry, this starting from 13 and ending at 15, so 2, the width is 2, and height is till, what is this height? This height is till 3. So this rectangle has a height of 3 and width of 2, so area can be, so I can write this frequency as, so frequency as 3 times 2 for the first rectangle, and the second rectangle it is 15. Okay, but you don't need to calculate area, or you can do directly 15 times 0.4. Okay, this is, see, this complete rectangle is 15 times 0.4, or you also know the final rectangle has a frequency of 6, you can directly take it from there. Okay, so both the ways it will work. So if you see, this is 6 and 15 times 0.4 is 6, or you can directly take it from there. So total 12 dolphins. Okay, so total 12 dolphins has a weight more than 13 kg. Okay, So I hope you understood this question. Now what you can do is you can go to my tutorials and do the questions related to histograms. If you have any doubt, you can please free feel to approach me. So thanks a lot.